Hi everyone. So in this series, I'll teach or we can discuss about ASP.NET MVC. So let's get started. So I just want to give a brief introduction why I'm doing this series. Software in general, software in my life, career and current. So software in general, it's nowadays it's a layman. When I say layman, I mean everyone is using software, whether knowing it or knowing it, everyone is using it. And in my life, I started my career or I started my BTech from in 2003, where I learned C from my college. Before that, in the holidays, I learned C from the one of the institute. So I fell in love with this computer language. That is my first introduction to the programming language. I really liked it, and I started coding it, and then finding that errors and fixing the errors. I felt it's really good. And then after for some reason I could not do in computer science in the as my coursework, but later when I did my masters, I got an opportunity to do my masters in computer science, and then currently I'm working in this .NET ASP MSc. So, as I said, in 2003, I got an opportunity to deal with C, and then 2007, once I'm done with my graduation, I learned .NET from one of the famous institute in Hyderabad, and I really the way they taught me. I was impressed with whatever they taught me. They taught us, not me, like others, with a group of people. They taught us ASP.NET, VB.NET, the SQL servers, C Sharp, and they actually because that's in 2007, so they taught us VB that VB 6.0 and what is that? Um, Older versions of VB and ASP also they taught us, and apart from that, they taught us all the CSS and all those things. So that is in 2007, and from 2008 to 2010, I did my masters, and I graduated in 2010 or 2009 December. And once I'm done with my masters, I started my career in .NET. That's in 2010. And there also in USA to brush up my skills, I attended some course on .NET, and there also I learned whatever I learned in India or in Hyderabad. That course which I learned in US was like completely what is work oriented or project oriented. I really learned so many things apart from what I learned back in Hyderabad. And then from 2010 to 2013 and 14, like that years what the reason for mentioning. So when I started working on different projects, I every project is different and every environment is different and every domain is different. With those different things, I learned different aspects of programming language as well as .NET. Okay, so any programming language or any application, if you take right, so it has three things. So front end, what we can see, that is when I say we as a end user, what we can see, and then when we are doing something, look at when we are clicking the button, something is happening. So that logic has to be there. That is middle layer or business layer, and then we are either entering some data or seeing some data. So the data has to be stored and managed. That is the backend. And when it comes to ASP.NET MVC, what is there in this ASP.NET MVC, and what is so much special about it? Because so here, so it has a lot of applications or a lot of advantages. We will dive deep uh, in the subsequent classes or videos. But for now, I'll just give the introduction. So as I said here what I said, front end, middle, and back end. That's a basic thing. But when it comes to the practicality or application, right, there is a lot of clumsiness. There are mostly dependent on one another. So that makes an application or the programmer difficulty when he wants to change something or when he wants to update something. So, but when it comes to ASP.NET, it has a bridge or it defined its borders with different things. Here we have MVC. MVC stands for M for model, V for view, and C for controller. And M model, it is the data part. Here we can see that backend that is the model, but here we have we can see it's clearly the code or management of data or its related things are controlled in model, and view defines in user interface or like what we see in the front end here, and then C controller, that is like business logic. When I say this, I mean it looks like the earlier one, but here we have everything in a proper sense. To tell my experience, right? When I started in 2010, my first job, or my first job, maybe third job, there they had like very old application, and then they gave me some time to explore it, and I was going through different functionality, and then after maybe 1 or 2 weeks they gave me a small change, like to change one button. I thought this is a small thing because like changing a button, um, because what I learned is like it looks like very small, but when I learned, I was learning. I mean, it's like advanced version of .NET I was using, but when we were on the field, like when I was at the third job, so when I tried to change it, right, when I dig deep, it was like they wrote everything in a complex in the code. They were building the button. It was like completely messy. So this one, like it looks like same. These two things look like same, but we can do it a different way. But MVC, it has its definition for data, UI, and the business logic. Thanking you kindly, and I'll try to give small snippets where you can digest easily and practice and then learn MVC. Thank you, and you have a great day. See you.